is no clapping.
Oh.
We're angry.
All right. Yeah.
Here's why we're angry. We're not really angry. I'm Mark Kaiser.
I'm Wade Major.
Here's the thing. People ask us, we are angry, because this is our worst of 2010 show. And I'll tell you why we're angry. People ask us, they go, my God, if you know, it'll stay like that if you don't stop. Oh, that's something else. People say to us, you know, being a film critic, you know, Wade and I are members of the LA Film Critics Association, very august group.
Oh, yes, august.
Yes.
July, even September.
I would say prestigious even.
I would too. Here's the thing. People say to us, you're film critics. It's got to be so much fun. See all these movies. See them for free. It's fantastic. In fact, here's the thing, and I've said this before. In fact, I said it tonight to somebody I had a phone call with earlier this evening. Here's what I say. I go, yes, look, being a film critic is fine, but look, we see 150 movies a year. 2/3 of them star Rob Schneider. So what I'm saying is that we see a lot of crap. And I know it's fun being a film critic, but when you're paid, even if you're paid, to
especially if you're paid,
soul-sucking crap writ large on the big screen.
Because you can't walk out because you're being paid.
Yes. That's the thing. Now, I'm not saying like...
You have to sit through it, and you have to pay attention because you have to write about it or talk about it.
Yeah. So I'm not saying like feel sorry for us, but it's not like this glamorous thing. And it's funny because people say, oh, you hate the movies that, you critics hate the movies that the people hate. Well, you know what the thing is that you saw a movie because you just wanted to not talk to your boyfriend or girlfriend for 2 hours. You just wanted to sit down and just have your boyfriend or girlfriend just shut up for 2 hours and eat some popcorn, and you don't have to talk to them. That's all you really want out of a movie.
Yes.
Critics actually want at least a little tiny piece of either art or entertainment from their film. A little bit of professionalism.
Something to justify the time.
That's right.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we don't get it. In fact...
most of the time we don't get it.
Most of the time we don't get it. So that's why we have saved our anger. Do it, Wade.
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
Make the noise.
That's anger.
Wow.
Right.
We have saved...
It's as angry as I'm going to be right now.
We have saved our hatred for this show, Wade. This is the top 5 worst films of 2010.
Actually, it's 6.
Ooh.
Because it was that bad.
Because it was that bad.
You know, it's true.
It is. It was.
You
a bad
hated
year.
this year.
It was. I honestly, I don't mean to sound hyperbolic, but this is the worst year, in my opinion, in movie history. And I pride myself on knowing a lot about every year in movie history. I've taught film history at the collegiate level. I, have been reviewing films for 20 years. I have been an avid film goer easily since my pre-teens. So I've seen probably since 1983 over 100 movies a year, and since 1990 at least an average of 200 movies a year. And bar none, this is far and away the worst year that I can remember.
And it's the worst year you can remember because, and I'm putting words in your mouth.
Go ahead, put them in. I'll take them out if I don't like them.
No, you'll like them.
Yeah.
Because now movie studios are run by corporations who look at movies as just another bean to count.
The problem is that we, especially now in the digital era, these corporations that own the studios are responsible for creating a lot of digital noise in our lives. And they see all this noise as a profit-generating machine, and they see the studios as one more unit to create that noise. And the problem is that people have traditionally seen movies as the antidote to the noise, the respite from the noise. And until these corporations come to their senses, which I don't expect, or until we have new distribution companies to replace all of the independents that were killed in the Great Purge of about 2 years ago, we're not going to start to get those movies that take us to those good places again. We're just going to get more formulaic junk and sequels.
And that's true. And it's funny because, there was an interview with Paula Wagner, who obviously is a producing partner. Tom Cruise's
longtime partner, yeah.
Tom Cruise. And she was saying how, and we've said this before, but it was interesting to hear her talk about it, is how studios can only make one kind of movie. The one that costs $150 million.
Yeah.
That's all they can make.
Oh, it's true. It's true. I know people who've gone into pitch meetings saying, they pitch a great movie, and then the question is, well, how much do you think it'll cost? And they say, oh, I don't know, $45 million. Like, they lowball it thinking that'll get it made. And then what they hear is, oh, that's too bad, because we were really looking for something in about the $95 million range.
That's just
bizarre. Honestly say that. They say that because they think that the bigger number means bigger box office.
Because you know what, when they hear a big number, they think, oh, it's a tent pole, it's a high concept, it's something that's the only way they know how to make a movie.
And yet, last year, the 3 most profitable studio films were The Hangover, The Blind Side, and District 9, all 3 of which made over $200 million domestically, a lot more foreign, and every one of them cost $30 million. 3 very different films. Yet, are they lacking in production value? No.
No.
And they're good.
And we were talking about How Do You Know, the James L. Brooks film.
Yeah, which was 120.
$120 million.
$50 million for cast before they even shoot a single frame.
$120 million to make a romantic comedy.
It's absurd.
How does that happen?
I don't know. Anyway, that's the mentality that's killing movies.
So what we have for you tonight, by the way, we're not always angry. We have our best of 2010, which you can also watch.
Oh, watch it.
YouTube.com/streaming garage. I think we have a lower third for that. YouTube.com/streaming garage. Wait,
just ran it, Mike.
Oh, right here. But if you want to see best of, watch this. You're on me right now, J-Mac.
Screen's crowded now, yeah.
If you want to see best of, hit right here. Right there. That popped up. Ooh, click that. You can go see best of.
Can I do that too?
Ready? Yeah, go. Ready? Best of.
Buttons. Join these 4.
That's on YouTube. All right, all right. There's the worst
That's
of.
getting dangerously close to jazz hands. I don't want that. All right, so here's the thing. We normally have 5 worst films of the year, but because it was such a crap year, we actually have 6.
6.
Wow.
Okay, so Wade, here's the thing. Let's start with number 6, shall we?
Let's do number 6, Mark.
Number 6 was so bad, we created a graphic out of it. That can mean it's only date nights. Oh my God.
I don't think we have the graphic though.
What?
We don't.
Date night
Yeah, we don't.
No,
we have, for the worst film of the year, we
have that.
do have another graphic now. I maybe have given away a little bit. Yeah, we have that though.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we went to an HD TriCaster. We're now in HD.
Oh, HD.
The old stuff is not. The old stuff's in SD, and we didn't have time to reconvert over to HD. And we don't want to see. You don't want to see SD stuff.
No, no.
We're the only live web entertainment network in HD.
Awesome.
That's it. We're the only ones that exist. Nobody else exists.
You know what?
Awesome.
That's awesome. We're awesome. New Tech is awesome. Our crew is awesome.
But I want to hear about
I'm
what's
awesome.
not awesome.
Wade.
No, the movies.
Oh, the movie.
Let's get into it.
Date
Okay,
night.
Date Night stars, I don't have to tell you what this thing's about. Date Night stars Tina Fey and Steve Carell. They play a bored married couple who go on the run for murderous bad guys during a date night out. And the
Date night gone wrong.
A date night gone wrong.
Hilarious.
Hilarious.
Oh.
Here's what's not hilarious about it, everything. The film was directed by Sean Levy. Now, Sean Levy is a very successful hack. Night of the
Museum movies, among the Sheep Are by the Dozen.
There's 2
Horrible.
There's 2 hack comedy directors in the world, Sean Levy and Dennis Dugan. And the thing is that Dennis Dugan and Sean Levy. You didn't think I was going to say you didn't think I was going to say Dennis Dugan, did you?
But
it's true.
The 2 names together have just given me the migraine of all mothers. The mother of all migraines.
The migraine, see that?
I can't even think straight now. Oh, that's so horrible.
The movies make so much money and they're so bad. You know, the problem with Date Night is it tries to be, it does anything for a laugh, but yet it's not funny. It tries to be slapstick, not funny. Tries to be exciting, not exciting. Tries to be violent, I don't buy it. It's the type of film where they wrote a script. And they said
they wrote a script for this, actually?
They did.
Really?
They did. Yeah. No, well, here's the thing. They wrote a script.
Didn't feel like it.
And they said to Tina Fey and Steve Carell, you know, you guys were funny. You can read the script if you want, but you know what? Go out there, do funny stuff. It'll be funny. Bring the funny with the funny. You don't have to read the script. What's the script? You're Steve Carell. You're Tina Fey. Go be funny. And you know what?
Terrible.
Not funny.
Awful.
Not funny. You can smell the desperation in every word they say, because it is wheezy and it's not funny, and I just don't understand it. And Tina Fey and Steve Carell are so talented individually, but you get them together and you expect comic gold.
It's dreadful.
And you get nothing.
Mark Wahlberg makes a horrible cameo in this, with all of his high-tech gizmo stuff. He's like some kind of government agent, and everything in this movie is contrived for over-the-top, broad slapstick. It's not as though they said, if a couple had a date night that went wrong, what might that entail? As, you know, even something like After Hours, it's organic. It's weird, it's off the wall, but it's all kind of organic. Here, it's as though, and I say this about a lot of films that are bad, it's as though they made a list. You could say the same thing even about Due Date. where they make a list of, oh, we got to have a scene where this happens and this happens and this happens, and oh, and the two cars are stuck together flying through the streets. Oh, that'll be hilarious. And then they say, okay, now how do we write a story that somehow incorporates all of this? And you wind up with this mangy dog of a movie that it's a big giant belly flop of a film.
It is, and you do get the feeling that the only reason why they did it was because they had a hole in their schedule. And they threw a pile of money at them.
And they, we own Thursday nights, the two of us. So wow, people will go and see this.
I just can't believe that that's what they would do. Because they've done good independent films before.
They have, and they're both enormously talented, and they can be very funny, but they are saddled with Sean Levy and a really, really bad movie.
That is true. So number 6,
Repo Man.
No, number 6 was Date Night.
Oh,
5.
6 is Date Night. 5 is Repo Man. Repo Man is just a wretched, horrible misfire of a movie, not to be confused with Repo Man, the Alex Cox classic from the 80s, which is actually a lot of fun. Repo Man is a wannabe Phil K. Dick movie, obviously not in any way related to Phil K. Dick, but it's about a future in which people's lives can be saved with artificial organs that cost a pile of money, and if you can't afford to continue making the payments on your organs, well, the Repo Men show up and they repossess your organ, and you die. Jude Law is not a leading man. He just isn't. He's a good actor, but they try to turn him into an action star here. And he's the Repo Man who winds up having to go on the run, Logan's Run style, when he falls into a situation where he now has an artificial organ that is going to be repossessed. And Forrest Whitaker is the partner who goes bad. And, it's just a terribly uninteresting film. It wants to be all kind of cyberpunk and cool, and it never really gets anywhere close to that. It's misbegotten from the very beginning. Jude Law is uninteresting and unsympathetic. And Forrest Whitaker, I love you. You're an amazing actor. You won an Oscar deservedly. Please stop making movies like this. You deserve movies of your own. You shouldn't be second fiddle, much less the cliched partner turned bad in one of these horrible hack jobs. It's a bad movie. You know what
movie that did this sort of a thing right was Minority Report.
Minority Report, based on an actual Phil K. Dick novel. And that's part of the problem here, is that they're trying to emulate something that no one involved has the talent to actually know how to make it work. They don't understand that Philip K. Dick's stories aren't just really cool futuristic scenarios like Total Recall and, oh, it's all about the, what's going on in the guy's head, and is the world real or is it not real, or artificial organs and androids. It's not all about that stuff. It's about identity issues. Philip K. Dick's movies are almost metaphysical in their and philosophical in their concerns, and all the rest of the stuff is just hardware.
So you're saying Repo Man is not metaphysical?
Not in the least.
Interesting.
It's meta something, but
it's meta crappy.
That's what it is.
What it is. So that's thank you, J-Mac. All right, so number 6 is Date Night. Number 5 is Repo Man. Number 4 is so bad.
Oh my God!
That when I saw the screening, there was very few people in the theater. When I saw the screening, what I did was I actually lifted some of the armrests.
Oh, it was the arc light.
I fell asleep.
The arc light, right?
Yes.
We love it. Honestly, we love seeing bad movies at the arc light. We don't love seeing bad movies, but if you have to see one, the top row at the ArcLight in Hollywood is the place to be. Make sure you have at least 3 seats available. Pop those armrests up, have something soft to lay your head on. You can lay out and just sleep through the whole thing.
Well, but here's the thing, before we say what the film is you got to be very strategic when you fall asleep.
Oh, yes.
In a bad movie, because what happens is you've got to be able to actually look through the seats.
Yes, that's true.
Because now your head is low. Your head is normally where your butt would be. So you got to be able to look through the seats in front of you, and you're sort of like, how much of the screen can I not see and still at least get a sense of what's going on? And the answer, by the way, 80%.
Yeah.
So what film are we talking about?
When in Rome.
Oh,
When in Rome.
Oh.
This is the most dreadful piece of S I've ever seen.
When in Rome is just truly
The first movie you guys reviewed, I believe, on Stupid for Movies.
Why
Was
is this
it?
number 4? This should be higher. This movie is just terrible.
because the others are even
Really,
worse.
this is just dreadful.
No, When in Rome stars Kristen Bell and Josh Duhamel. Pretty much any movie with Kristen Bell or Josh Duhamel is going to be bad. We've decided. Not anything against them. They just pick bad movies. And with the two of them, this is just doubly horrible. Basically, Kristen Bell wants Josh Duhamel, and she makes some kind of crazy wish at some kind of fountain in Rome, and suddenly the wish goes awry, and men are falling all over her. It makes no sense. It's dreadful. It's not romantic. It's not comedic. It's not funny in the least. And Rome isn't hardly even, most of the movie takes place in New York. Rome is in it for like a second and a half. It's just beyond embarrassing. I don't even know where to begin. It just...
You know, the problem is, you get a movie like When in Rome that is, it's not just formulaic, it's just lame. I can't believe that they looked at that script and said, that's funny, let's shoot it.
I know.
And by the way, here's the mark of any bad movie. The movie ends, right, and you've just endured 90 minutes of hell, right? And then over the end credits, on a soundstage, they shoot all the actors dancing to the end credit song.
Oy.
We got another one of those coming up, too.
So
yes.
The only thing worse than that is the bloopers.
Yeah.
Which were fine in Cannonball Run, and then I never want to see them again.
Yeah. It's, you know what, and the only reason they do that is because they know that the 90 minutes of hell you have just endured is so wretched that they somehow have to leave you with a good feeling so that hopefully you won't tell your friends the movie was a complete and total bust. So maybe if we have a nice musical sequence that's sort of fun and cheeky over the end title credits, you'll kind of be bopping your head as you walk out and you'll go, well, maybe it wasn't so bad after all. No, it was that bad. It was absolutely that bad.
I just don't understand.
Mark Steven Johnson, by the way, who directed this, previously did Ghost Rider. He's a
winner.
He's a winner. He's a man and a half.
You got to start somewhere, and you can't start any lower than When in Rome and Ghost Rider.
Wow.
Not Ghost Rider.
No, not the Polanski film, Ghost Rider. No, not Ghost Rider, but the Marvel comic adaptation of Ghost Rider. You know, skull, flames, riding a motorcycle, Nick Cage, kiss of death.
That's probably as close as Wade will ever get to riding a motorcycle.
That's
making
true.
that hand gesture right
That's
there.
really true.
Wade is quite the daredevil.
Yeah. No, four wheels for me.
Here's what I just learned about Wade about 20 minutes ago. Wade has never had a soda pop.
Well, I've had them.
Drink.
I just don't drink them.
Really?
I just don't drink
I
carbonated.
don't drink them either.
Why is that?
I don't drink
No
soda.
one cares
I
about
drink
you.
water.
Why is that? So much stuff Wade doesn't do.
Water, juice. I'll drink Gatorade if I'm, running and dehydrated, but I don't like...
How about vitamin water? That's got sugar in it, though, right?
Yeah, I'm not keen on vitamin water. I love actually naturally fizzy water, sparkling water like Pellegrino I like.
By the way, this conversation right here is actually one of the worst films of 2010.
Could be.
This is better dialogue. I guarantee you this is better dialogue than any of the films on your list right
Mark,
now.
Yes.
Moving on, I think Kristen Bell has another film in our worst, doesn't she?
She's just horrible. You know what? She was okay in what's the thing? Saving Private Ryan. What's it called? Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Oh yes. No, she was fine in that.
Saving Private Ryan. Very similar to Sarah Marshall. Very similar movie.
That was a joke, by the way, for crying out Jesus. You really think I should start in Saving Private Ryan?
Okay.
Okay. You Again.
Oh.
Now, You Again is just so horrible. Kristen Bell plays a woman whose brother is about to marry the woman who tormented her in high school.
Katherine Heigl should be grateful that Kristen Bell exists. Because Kristen Bell, honestly, because if Kristen Bell did not occupy 2 slots in our worst 6, Katherine Heigl would. Just saying.
I just wonder whether these
She's the new Katherine Heigl.
Pretty close.
Hollywood's saying she's the new Katherine Heigl.
I don't know whether these scripts go to Katherine Heigl first or Kristen Bell first.
I don't know, but wow.
It is just terrible. And, it was directed by Andy Fickman, who's kind of a fun director. He's really yet to kind of do a super breakout good movie. But he's a fun guy. He's got a light touch.
He did the game plan with the
Which was
Rock,
okay.
which is fine.
Which is okay. But here, this is just desperate slapstick. It's a very lame script. There's no recognizable humans in this whole movie. And what happens is Kristen Bell returns home for this wedding, and all of these feelings of hatred towards this woman that she
Her
has
longtime high school rival.
A longtime high school rival played by
Odette
Yusman. And then what you do is you get Jamie Lee Curtis plays Kristen Bell's mother, and Sigourney Weaver plays Odette Yusman's mother. So now they
have a rivalry.
They rekindle their rivalry, and of course they bring in Betty White because it's 2010 and Betty White's a hot thing. And it's so bad. Betty White even gets the last line in the film. Because like the adorable old lady's got to get the last line in the movie.
Did she do sexy, adorable old lady things like she swore and again? We've had this conversation on other shows, and you can see other on YouTube our other shows. Betty White was one of the first women of comedy in TV.
Yes,
brilliant. And they have reduced her to this. Look, she's saying bad words on everything
she's a dirty
she does
old
now.
lady.
and it's just embarrassing what they're doing to comedy on movies and in TV.
You know, there was a scene, and this thing is so poorly staged. The script is so bad. There's a scene when Kristen Bell and Odette Yusman get into a fight, and they're all tuckered out now because they were fighting.
Oh,
so what happens is that Kristen Bell, because she's so tired, she goes to sit in a chair, right? Because she's tired. And why would she sit in a chair with her back towards the woman who she's been fighting with? I'll tell you why. Because in the script it says Odette Yusman pours a tureen of soup on Kristen Bell's head. So somehow they got to make that happen. So Fickman's like, why don't you go ahead and sit with your back towards your enemy in this chair? Why would I do that? I wouldn't do that with a girl I just had a fight with, because we got to find a way to pour the soup over your head. So just do that. It just doesn't make sense.
There's also that whole bizarre sequence of events whereby things happen to her that cause her hair to get cut and other things to happen so that she winds up looking like that ugly high school yearbook photo. Not funny. Not even. I can't even see that being funny in text. Oh, and then they have to cut her hair so that it now looks like the bangs she had in high school. And oh, and then she loses her glasses, and now we have her contacts, so now we have to put glasses, and she looks more and more like the photo. It's not funny.
Well, the reason
it's not funny even in concept.
Well, the reason why it doesn't work is because
it's forced.
It's all just for the visual joke of seeing her with pimples and short hair. They don't do anything with it in terms of how that affects her psychology, because there's no psychology in this film. There's nothing in this film.
It's terrible.
So You Again is just it's funny because so far we have Date Night, Repo Man, When in Rome, You Again. 3 of those films romantic comedies. And it really gives you a sense, and Wade and I have talked about this before, it gives you a sense of the state of the American romantic comedy.
And we didn't even include the
Bounty Hunter.
Oh, yeah.
All the Katherine Heigl stuff.
All the Katherine Heigl stuff and all the
Wait,
Gerard
don't
Butler
give it away.
stuff.
You're giving away what number 2 and 1 could be if you're saying it's not.
I'm making it a little bit more intriguing. What did they pick? Riddle me this.
Number 2.
So number 2, Wade, not a romantic comedy.
Not a romantic comedy, although it thinks it's a comedy. Number 2 is Furry Vengeance, which oh my gosh.
Look how cute that is, the bear.
You know, Furry Vengeance is directed by Roger Kumble, who, aside from having an incredibly unfortunate name, is a very unfortunate director. Roger Kumble also directed a film that is also dreadful, which is The Sweetest Thing. If you think The Sweetest Thing is bad, if you saw it in the theater and thought it was bad, see if you can get hold of the director's cut on DVD, which also has the penis song in it that was not in the theatrical release, and you will realize how dreadful his movies really can be. Furry Vengeance stars Brendan Fraser and Brooke Shields as a couple who relocate to this wooded area where he is supposed to oversee a new development for the company that he works for. Of course, the animals and the little woodland creatures don't really want people there, so they mount a rebellion against poor Brendan Fraser to try and stem the tide. You get a lot of really stupid, hackneyed, slapstick sequences that seem badly borrowed from Coyote and Roadrunner cartoons, where the animals are pushing boulders down onto the road and skunks are spraying him in the car. And Brendan Fraser, of course, because he's in a movie that thinks it's a cartoon, has to act like a cartoon. So the acting is dreadful. It's overwrought, and nothing is funny unless you're a 2-year-old, in which case you'll laugh yourself crazy. If you're a 2-year-old, you're probably not watching us. Unless you're a really cool 2-year-old, then you're watching us.
And by the way, if you're 2 years old, go to clicker.com and vote for us.
Vote for us.
Because we are up for Best Web Live Show against Katie Couric, The White House, other streaming garage shows. We'll kick their butts.
Now, I'll tell you, Furry Vengeance, a lot of people talked about how Avatar was essentially Pocahontas. No, Furry Vengeance thinks it's Avatar. Honestly, the whole thing, how he finally sides with the animals against the corporation that's invading to take over, it's Avatar. But even though I don't like Avatar, oh my gosh, Avatar is Citizen Kane compared to Furry Vengeance. And you know what's weird? Mike was going to say something.
Oh, I thought you were going to get into number 1. Before we get to number 1, we have some guesses in the room. So.
Well, that's interesting.
Oh, hang on.
Furry Vengeance, what's interesting, it was financed by the same Middle Eastern consortium out of the United Arab Emirates that financed the Peter Weir film that was one of my favorite films of the year, The Way Back. I don't know what they're thinking over there.
You know what? They probably made more money off Furry Vengeance than they'll ever make on The Way Back.
It's just bizarre. Why would you? I mean, these people have a pile of money. They're doing a slate. Furry Vengeance, Way Back. Roger Kumble, Peter Weir. Who's calling the shots over there? Really? I don't get it. Anyway.
Well, here's what I get. I get that our viewers are wondering, what is our worst film of the year?
I'm sure they know.
Why don't you count down the 6 to 2, and J-Mac will keep up with you here.
6 to 2, go.
Oh, yeah.
Number 6. Are we ready?
Here we go.
Yeah,
J-Mac's
yeah, sure,
yes.
okay.
Go ahead. Number 6.
Number 6, Date Night.
Hold on, slowly. Here we go. Oh, there you
Okay.
go. It's number 6.
Number 5, Repo Men.
Okay, that didn't work as well as I hoped it would. There we
There we
go.
go.
Yep. All right.
Number 4, When in Rome. Number 3, You Again. Oh, dreadful. Number 2, Furry Vengeance.
Boom.
All right,
Oh
so
my gosh.
here, now before you say number 1, here's some guesses from the chat room. Furry Bender, love that name, says Avatar. Was that this year or was that last year? That was last year. Sam Joe 99 says Airbender. MJ2346, Blue Valentine.
Well, that's interesting.
Okay, keep going. Anything else?
I think everybody else is Furry Bender says Jennifer's Body. Ah, that's a good one. USAMA 811, Skyline. And here's one, Furry Bender, that I'll agree also. Furry Bender's got a lot of them. Killers, right? That was one of our, I think, best reviews of the year, I gotta be honest. Go find a review of Killers on youtube.com/streaminggarage. Put that up, J-Mac. youtube.com/streaminggarage if you want to see a really good review. I love the Killers review. And it really explains why critics aren't allowed to see some movies. It's a very inside information thing.
I'm just pointing out.
All right.
All right, so here's the thing, Wade.
Go through these. And
just like we did for the best of 2010.
which you can see
which you can
on
also
YouTube.
see. Mike, let me host the show.
I was going to do
Jesus
but
H.
you,
Christ.
I can't with the...
Anyway. So...
That was like a Robert De Niro look. What was that? Look at his...
This is what happens to us.
Do your face into Wade's camera. Do that face. All right, that's really horrible in HD. Back to the 2.
Wow. I think I just saw pixels popping
And then also the losers. Somebody else says the losers. Run through those really quick.
Okay, here we go. So we're going to go through the ones that we did not pick. Maybe we'll be left with the one we did pick. Maybe it'll be one that's totally different.
As we get up to the number 1 worst movie in 2010.
Okay, is it Skyline?
No.
No, I didn't see Skyline.
No, it's not. I didn't
Nobody
see it
saw
either.
Skyline.
No, nobody saw it. Didn't screen it for press.
Is it The Losers?
No,
Not The Losers.
No,
Losers was
no.
Not very good, but
No, it's
not one of the
that
worst. Was it Blue Valentine?
No, actually, that's not a bad film.
That's it's not a bad film. I didn't love it, but it's not a bad
That's
film.
interesting.
Was it? Well, it could be Killers. No.
No.
Oh.
Not Killers.
Well, because
No.
it wasn't screened.
Because we
No, it
didn't
wasn't
see
screened.
I'm sure it could have been there. If they screened it, they could have made the list.
Yeah.
I would love to have gone to see that on a Saturday night for $13 and a $10 bucket of popcorn. I just,
You know what?
It would have been an honor. But I just couldn't.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't screen it for the press. Bad times. Okay, is it? We have Airbender, Jennifer's Body. Is it Jennifer's Body?
No.
It's not Jennifer's Body.
No.
Well, wait. Here's the thing. It's either last.
I'm surprised that nobody suggested that it might be the Human Centipede.
Ooh, nobody said Human Centipede.
Human Centipede, right? Yeah. Nobody said that.
Interesting. Well, it's either Last Airbender or it's something that's not on the list that we were given. So, Wade, Last Airbender, is it?
Yes!
Yes!
Oh.
Last Airbender is the worst film of this year, and ironically enough, last year, and probably next year.
So bad that we even made a special buy, rent, burn, or Airbender if it's worse than anything, and show Mark and Wade, and then we can throw to that, right?
You know,
if it's not a buy, rent, or burn, Mark and Wade, what is it?
It's The Last Airbender. Oh, in HD! Look at that.
So bad it makes you want to go on a bender to get it out of your head.
Now, I got to say, before you guys get into exactly, on YouTube, there's the Airbender that you guys do. You guys do a review of Airbender. And I've never seen on any YouTube video ever in the history of YouTube that every single person agrees on YouTube. There's no fights, and there's hundreds of people comments that all agreed with you that it's a horrible, horrible film.
Absolutely dreadful. This is not a bad animated series. The Last Airbender is an animated series. It has a certain following, and I get it. It's a pretty cool little series. Somehow, the live-action adaptation was put in the hands of M. Night Shyamalan, whose films have gotten so progressively worse. I'm mystified as to how he keeps getting projects. I really am. I thought after Lady in the Water, it was all over for him. I really did. And yet somehow they keep on coming out. He came out with the Angry Tree movie. What was it called?
Yeah. It's the thing where
we blocked it. We blocked it from our minds. The last one he came out with.
The Town, Signs.
It wasn't The Town. Whatever it
I'm
was.
so over him, it's unbelievable.
It's just incredible.
The Happening.
The Happening. What a great title that was.
Didn't Time Magazine at one point compare him to Spielberg? They say he was an ex-Spielberg.
Yeah, but you know what? This is a guy who made a very good first film, which was Wide Awake, which almost nobody saw. Miramax released it, a little kid and his grandfather, and I mean, it had a certain supernatural flair to it, but it was not. It was a good, solid little movie. And then with his second film, it was The Sixth Sense, and it knocked it out of the park. Oscar nominations, Best Picture, Best Director, and I really think he was too young at the time for that level of success, because suddenly, you know, he thought that he could do no wrong. He thought he was laying a golden egg every single time, and he didn't have to work hard enough.
Oh, we laid an egg all right.
It makes me think that there was a really good editor behind him. I got to look and see if he changed editors, because I know when you direct stuff, you know, a lot of times you rely on the post, and maybe they helped it along.
I don't think he puts as much effort into his scripts anymore. I think he's a little too enamored of himself, and it just, honestly, after the last film, after The Happening, I thought, you know what, Lady in the Water was so bad, I didn't think he could do worse. The Happening was so beyond dreadful. And then I thought, maybe if he's directing, you know, a pre-existing material, maybe Airbender's a chance for him to redeem himself. No. Boring beyond all comprehension. I fell asleep for about 20 minutes in the middle of this thing.
By the way, he did.
I did.
I looked at him, he was like this.
And that doesn't happen to me. I don't fall asleep in movies. And it was the upper row of the ArcLight, but there were too many people. I couldn't stretch out. It was just so horrible.
You know,
there's no rhythm to this movie. It's just, it's, you know, ugh.
I would love to tell you what this film is about, but I have no idea. No idea. I sat in this film, and by the way, I'm not kidding. I don't know what this film. There's a guy, there's an air and a fire and a water thing.
There are people who, like, they bend air and fire and water, and there's some tyrannical empire that's
the one thing on the YouTube, the original review you guys did. Everybody's like, see the original series, you'll understand it. And then people are like, how can you not understand it? Like, because they don't see the original series. These were big fans who hated the movie. Trust me, everybody hated the movie. But in order to see it, you watch the original series and you'll really be mad, apparently.
I gather that it's one of those, you know, Messiah child sagas, another one of those Joseph Campbell things that probably has some resonance, especially when it's animated. But here, Shyamalan he bungled it.
And you know what?
So badly.
It's boring, and it's leaden, and it's confusing, and it's agonizing, and it's incomprehensible. And the way he moves the thing is that the way he moves the camera bores you more. There's no snap to it. He moves the camera very, you know what, when he was doing The Sixth Sense, and he does this a lot, but here it's not appropriate, he moves the camera very slowly because he's all into dread and building suspense. But this is The Last Airbender, man, move it along.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't do it. It's just not how he makes films.
All this slow motion martial arts stuff.
Right, the problem is that, you know, good directors will adapt to the material they are given. But here, Shyamalan only makes films one way. That slow, kind of, you know, that slow-moving, tension-filled way. That's the only way he knows how to make a film. A lot of slow push-ins, you know, and a lot of foreboding music. That's the only thing he knows how to do. And in The Last Airbender, it's just not appropriate.
I don't know how many directors we really have. I mean, that used to be the mark of a great studio director in the 30s and 40s, 50s, even into the 60s, that you were the guy, we could hand you an action film, we could hand you a drama, a thriller, a romantic comedy, and you would nail it. You know, Billy Wilder could do anything. William Wyler could do anything. These guys, that, you know, Frank Capra could do a lot.
And by the way, not to interrupt, but because it just happened recently, Blake Edwards.
Yes.
You know, Blake Edwards, look, people know Blake Edwards from the Pink Panther series, but don't forget the Days of Wine and Roses.
And Breakfast at Tiffany's, and, you know, I mean, he made a lot of really, really good movies.
So,
a lot of crap, but he made a lot of good movies, too.
So the great directors are versatile.
I don't know that we have any of those except for maybe Soderbergh.
Soderbergh, he can do anything.
He can do anything, but I don't know how many others we really have who are that versatile.
Right. Well,
it's sad.
Here's the thing. What's even sadder than that is the fact that Airbender exists. The fact that
they're thinking of a sequel.
No, they're not. They just say that. They say that.
Yeah.
There's not going to be a sequel.
I like Airbender because we got a lot of hits on YouTube for it.
That's true.
And everybody
agreed.
Love the last Airbender. And everybody agreed.
And
so that is it, folks. Those are the 6 worst films of 2010. I am begging you not to. You know what? Don't even look at the posters.
Can we Airbender one more thing?
Huh?
Can we Airbender just again?
Sure.
You know what? I hate The Last Airbender. I'm going to Last Airbender it. Yes! There it is.
Oh, I should have gone this way.
Oh, wait.
Try again.
I know.
We're not trying that.
No.
Okay, here's the thing. Now, we seem like haters now because we were making fun of 6 films that deserve, by the way, to be hated. But we're also lovers. And you should be watching
our
also
best
our best of 2010.
Our best of 2010 show, for sure.
So watch the best of 2010 show.
Because a lot of those movies are going to be in limited release and going wider in January. So they may not, people watching this, depending on where you live, you may not have access to that movie until January. So make a list, because you're going to have some good movie viewing in January if you follow our best of list.
And then follow us normally, too. Come on, watch the show every Thursday, 8 p.m. We come back January 13th. We've got some great guests coming up and great reviews.
All right, folks, so that's the show. May 2011 have less than 6 really bad movies.
Please.
Please. All right, guys, good night.